This is a restorative yoga practice for muscle recovery on your rest day. I'm Caren Baginski, and yesterday I just climbed up an 8,000-foot mountain, 6 miles, and my legs are quite tired. So we're gonna go into a practice using a lot of props, everything you see here, to help assist the body in going into rest and digest mode. We'll begin with some more active stretches, and then we will rest in stillness and really support our body in relaxation. You'll need a chair or open wall space, 3 blankets, 2 blocks, and a flat bolster. Let's begin in half dog at wall or using a chair. So you're welcome to come against an open wall space with your palms flat against the wall, or do the same pose using a chair or a countertop holding onto the edge. So I'm going to use my chair here and come up to standing, holding onto the chair or palms flat against the wall. Walk yourself back into an L shape. Get your feet quite wide, toes pointed straight ahead, and extend long from the armpit region, allowing the shoulder blades to lift up and in, opening and broadening in the armpit region, little bend in the knees or a lot bend in the knees, as much as you need here. Relax your head so the ears are alongside your biceps. And then energetically push into the wall or the chair and reach your hips backward. If you notice that your belly is caving toward the thighs, lift up and in ever so slightly, feeling the tailbone lengthen and broaden across the back of the pelvis. This is a quite active sensation here in the upper body, so breathe easily and fully in through the nose, quietly out through the nose, or maybe through lips. Relax anything that doesn't need to be tight, like your neck, toes, or your fingertips. And with every inhale, feel your back expand and fill up with breath. Every exhale, a little bit of space as you soften into the back of the heart. Steady with your breath. Just entering into this practice and this time you're dedicating to recovery. Let's find one more round of breath together, nice and easy and slow. And as you breathe out, release your hands from wall or chair. Bring them to your hips and slowly lift yourself all the way to standing. Then come back down onto your mat as we move into our next posture, low lunge with blocks. I've moved the chair off to the side and I'm going to grab one blanket, open it up and place that across the middle of your mat. This will be some padding for your knees. Grab your 2 blocks in both hands and place them on the tallest height. Then we'll come into a table position with the blocks in front of the blanket and the knees on the blanket. Let's step the left leg forward first into lunge. Tuck the back toes under, lift the knee, get really long, and then set the kneecap back down and flatten the back foot. Separate your hands so you have a lot of space here and support as you lean into the heaviness of your left heel, letting your chest rise. Lifting the navel in slightly, let's begin to walk the hands and the blocks backward. If this is tolerable for your back, and especially your low back, lift more upright. If you feel a great big tugging anywhere, it's just too much, continue that lean forward. You can choose to stay right here if you like. Shoulder blades hug, heavy into left heel, sinking into the pelvis. And as you breathe in and out, Imagine that the breath is swirling a little bit deeper into the belly, really emptying out, really filling up. This might be enough, or you can continue to hold on to your left block, but inhale your right arm skyward, just reaching straight up through the fingertips. This will intensify the sensation that you feel here alongside this right psoas muscle, which connects the bottom half of the body to the top. If that's too much, just take your hand back down. Find a place that feels sustainable, that allows you to breathe, where you're not fighting against yourself, but you feel some relaxation can take place. One more breath in here. Use the exhale to come out, so walk your blocks a little bit more forward and sweep the left leg back. Dropping the knee down to the blanket. Just take a moment, maybe leaning forward a little bit, edging the hips back, just feeling into the legs and how the left side and right side compare. Now let's do the same thing with the right foot forward. Make space for your right foot and step it through. Tuck the left toes under, lift momentarily just to lengthen out through the leg, then set yourself back down onto the knee. So you're just feeling like you're in forward of the kneecap and not right on top of it. Release the left toes and then pause here, heavy into the right heel. Soft breath, soft shoulders, releasing any gripping into the blocks. If you like, stay here or begin to walk your blocks back, lifting your heart. Feel your right hip reaching backward as the left hip comes forward, just to feel a levelness across your pelvis. This might be enough, again, softening through fingertips. Or keep the right fingertips down on the block and inhale the left arm, reach it straight up overhead. And this is where you can invite bigger breath in and out of the nose. Stretching from the armpit region, and again, if that's just simply too much, feeling a sensation in this left psoas as the fingertips rest on the blocks. Wherever you are at right now, wonderful. Release any judgment about tightness. And just breathe your way into any resistance you might feel, softening the body more in the face, a place where we unconsciously hold on to tension. Let's find one more breath in here together. Take your time. And as you breathe out, make your transition. Blocks come back forward, right foot sweeps back. Knee down to the floor. Again, just shifting hips forward or back. Eventually, let's come to sit on the knees if that is tolerable, or a cross-legged seat. Let's transition into a supported half frog. So blocks come off to the side. Grab your flat bolster. Take it lengthwise up the mat. And then fold the blanket that you had for your knees short sides together one time. Pulling the lengthened bolster toward you, let's take the blanket off to the right side of the bolster, just diagonally across the right side. And then take another blanket, and we'll fold it up a little bit more significantly and place that just in front of the bolster. This is going to be a rolled up support for your head, for your arms, as we come lying down prone with one leg off to the side. So with hands on either side of the bolster, let's step the right knee off to the side and nestle the inner hip into the edge of the bolster. Lower the upper body down. The forearms can come down to the blanket, followed by the forehead. And if you need more support and lift for your head, then I recommend taking another blanket, folding it up, stacking it on top. Arms can rest along your sides as the head is heavy against the support in front of it. Now do a check-in with this right hip. It does not have to be hiked up so high above the hip joint. It can come directly out to the side. It can come a little bit lower. Ensure that you feel like you are right in the center of the bolster, not leaning too far over to the left or the right. And as the head is resting and you're gazing straight down, the nose is free to breathe. Invite yourself into breathing into the back body. Imagine as if you could inhale deeper into the backs of the lungs, lifting the upper body up. And then as you exhale, complete letting go, feeling the whole body sink heavily into the support of the props. Very subtle, and with every release, every exhale, soften into the grip of your pelvis. Feel any tension from the pelvic floor, the inner groin, the right thigh and leg. Any tension, softening and releasing with each exhale. Let one more round of breath take you into the feeling of emptiness and fullness. Empty of tension, full of relaxation. Slowly wiggle your fingers and begin to slide your hands back toward your shoulders as you lift your head. Push into the palms, engage into the left side, in the knee on the floor, and lift up from there, sliding the right leg back in line, back into tabletop. Sink back toward your heels and let's simply move the blanket over to the left side. Coming right back into half frog, supported. Slide the hands forward, set the left knee out. Lengthen through that right leg. Walk the elbows forward as you come down. And adjust the left knee now to the place of most comfort and release. Ensure that your elbows are wide or forward so that when your forehead touches down, you're not supporting yourself with your upper body in any way. Once you get settled, come back into that simple breath, breathing into the back, feeling lightness and freedom in the rib cage. And breathing out, letting yourself sink down and any tension in the body, relaxing with that breath. Remember, there's nothing you need to do. This is an undoing of all the tensions that have crept into this whole self, whether it's physical, mental, or emotional. Remember that there's more to you than just a body. And that through this practice, you're reconnecting to the whole self here. Repairing, healing, and recovering all the parts of you, not just the physical. Using one more breath, sweeping that through the body. Begin to awaken some gentle movement. Slowly return your hands back by your shoulders. Using just enough effort, lift away from the props. Slide your left knee back in. Come to have a seat, whatever works for you here. Breathe in and out, maybe closing the eyes for a moment. Just noticing how you feel in the base of the pelvis and the legs. They might feel still stiff. Maybe there's a softness that's entering. We'll take some of the props off to the side here. The blanket that was on top of the bolster, let's actually just fold that over one time and place that at the end of the bolster. And then with the two other blankets that you have on the mat, slide that bolster forward, turn around with your back to the bolster, and take the two blankets and let's form rolled blankets as we transition into supported reclining bound angle. Opening up the blankets a couple times, find your way either to the short side if you want a thicker roll, or the long side if you want a thinner roll. Now, when we take the soles of the feet together and the knees wide, your legs want to be lifted up high, so we're not having any stretch in the inner thighs, we're just allowing complete relaxation. So you might want the thicker roll. So I'm going to take the short side and roll that up. Put that underneath the outer calf and the upper thigh, and do the exact same thing for the other side. The reason that you don't want any stretch happening here is because we've already started to loosen and soften into these inner thigh muscles, and we don't want to stress them out any more than they probably already are. We want to just hold and wrap them and hug them gently so we can really relax in the body and recover. Bring the bolster right up against you and then lower down. Let your head rest here on the blanket, and your arms go to a V with the palms face up. Allow the elbows to touch down onto the floor, and if they don't, you might want to place a little thin pillow or blanket underneath them so they are supported as well. If you feel any sort of tension in your back, try lifting up from your pelvis, sliding the tailbone forward and setting it back down. That might help you elongate the low back area. And then do a check-in. Are you feeling completely supported and held in the legs? Or are you noticing that there's a little bit of tension and stretch happening? Build up the props more under the legs. For example, you could take both of your blocks as well and place those on a medium height right underneath the knee area. Now that did it for me. That allowed my legs to completely relax. Do what feels most comfortable and supportive for you. Close the eyes. And let's rest. Welcome any sensations of lightness or brightness. Sensations of relaxation and letting go. Loosen up any grip in the toes, ankles, knees, and hip joints. Relax all expression from your face, smoothing out the wrinkles of the forehead, creases of the eyes, and the jawline. Allow the stillness and the silence of this practice to envelop you in a warm embrace. And feel how good it is to rest. How balancing and nourishing and necessary. This rest has its time and place, just like the movement. And in fact, this rest makes it possible to keep moving. I'll leave you here for some time. Just breathe and be, and I'll let you know when it's time to come out. Bring attention into fingers and rub your thumb across each fingertip. Start that movement into the wrists, into the elbows, lifting the arms, maybe stretching them overhead or wide to a T, whatever feels awakening for your heart and your arms and chest. And then gather the arms in toward the thighs and use the hands against the outer thighs to lift up. Planting the feet wide, let the knees come together. And depending on how much availability you have in your chest and arms and core at this moment, you might choose to roll to a side or sit upright, extending your legs long, just going easy on this body. And let's move a couple of the props off to the side, the blankets and the blocks, and come into a comfortable seat. Your choice, whatever you like. Placing the palms together at the heart. Closing the eyes for a moment and bowing the chin down and in. A moment to offer gratitude for all the realized beings who have brought these yoga practices to us, that we too may receive all of the benefits of this practice. Release the hands, open the eyes, take your time coming back into the space and just notice how you feel and how a little bit of rest and stretch can help so much in recovery for the more active activities and workouts that you have in your life. Thank you so much for joining me. What a pleasure. Give this video a like, subscribe if you want to relax again sometime soon, and check out my website for more restorative yoga classes just like this. I'll see you next time.